life is my laboratory. As a spiritual alchemist, I become a cosmic man. That is, I have expanded my consciousness and awareness to a point where I have perception, where I can perceive higher planes of existence. Now, as a spiritual alchemist, my job, my intention of my practice is to go about extracting the valuable, precious metals which bring themselves to us through life experiences. You see, as a spiritual alchemist, as a mental alchemist, as an alchemist in general, I must go and find a supply for my inventory, for what I'm saying, in the sense that as an alchemist, I'm working with metals, so I must first supply myself with these metals. And so these metals are, in spiritual alchemy, there are the different experiences of life. Tin, which is the metal that I am dealing with today, is what we will be discussing. Tin is the metal associated with Jupiter. Jupiter is the planet that deals with religion. So Jupiter rules both Sagittarius and Pisces. Sagittarius is the masculine expression of Jupiter, and thus Sagittarius deals with traditions, you feel what I'm saying? It deals with sacred scriptures, books, you feel what I'm saying? And Sagittarius also deals with religious devotion, you feel me? So being a fire sign, it's more the active aspects of the more visual aspect of religion, you know, so like having information, but at the same time things like being loyal to like the religion and having faith, you know, all those things are all Sagittarian. But then Pisces more deals with the belief aspect of religion. It deals more with the psychic senses. It deals more with those experiences we have in religion that are more personal to us, you know, and that not everyone can experience. Sagittarius is more of the public demonstrations that are associated with religion. But Pisces is more the emotional connections that is associated with religion. So with that being said, you know, my experience today in this church, you know, because I went to church today, right? That's the whole point of this video. It was more Piscean than Sagittarian. That is, Sagittarius deals more with illumination and enlightenment, so going to a temple or a church and being illuminated and enlightened. But for me, the whole experience wasn't illumination or enlightenment per se. And this is because I am very enlightened in of myself, I'm very illuminated. And this is not ego, it's just truth, you feel what I'm saying? And I got my birth chart to back me up with that. It was written in the stars that I would have all this knowledge and information. But anyways, so it was not Sagittarian, but it was more Piscean, you feel me? It was more about like universal love, right? First and foremost. Second and foremost, I also want to say this. I'm an astrologer, as most of you guys know, and I pay attention to the planets and where they're transiting through my birth chart, you know, and this is because understanding this helps me move appropriately in life, you know. It helps me understand how my energies are being naturally directed, you feel me? So then I'm working with the flow of life rather than working against the flow of life. And if anyone wants to book a reading with me and wants an update on their, you know, horoscope, their birth, their transit, you feel me? I got you. I can help you with that 100%. Anyway, so yeah, you know, I'm looking at it, and Mars went into my 12th house 2 days ago. 12th house is a house that's ruled by the sign Pisces. The 12th house deals with psychic connections, with spiritual experiences, you feel what I'm saying? So with that being said, as a spiritual alchemist, when I am involving myself, or rather I should say when I'm tapping into my spiritual laboratory, I am tapping in mentally, right? I'm in my mind. So I'm in my 12th house, because that's the house that rules the spirit realm. So when Mars went into my 12th house, I became more active, more motivated towards my spiritual development, you feel me? Because Mars is a planet that deals with ambition, execution, so it makes you get up and want to do things, but ultimately deals with building. So Mars can either deal with construction or destruction, right? It's one or the other. It's not really a benefic planet, it's a maleficent planet, so it brings hardship. But if a person is disciplined and they have like a soldier type energy, you feel me, then they got this. And so what's crazy is I go up in this church, you know, and like I say, I'm not really a religious person. I'm a spiritual person. I'm a spiritual alchemist. So for me, I tap into all of the religions, and this is because, as I was speaking earlier, the spiritual alchemist extracts valuable metals from life. You feel me? So ultimately, I go to the church, I extract this tin. And so now that I have this tin, what this means is that the experiences I had at the church, right, which I will now go into, ultimately, I'm just chilling there. I'm there because a friend invited me, you know, and I'm like, sure, why not, you know, I want to come check it out. And I'm over here thinking, like, it's going to be shallow, it's going to be BS, X, Y, and Z. And so these individuals, you know, they're in there, they're talking about, like, spirits, they're talking about angels. The preacher that opened it up, she was most definitely psychic, you feel me? Talking about how she was seeing angels and all this other stuff. And me being tuned in and keyed in, you know, of course, I have great discernment, you know what I'm saying? And I'm discerning the energies I'm connecting with. And so as they're speaking, so my ascendant is in Virgo. I am very analytical. I'm analyzing every word and I'm processing it. Virgo rules the digestive system. The digestive system assimilates nutrition and it extracts waste. You feel me? So I'm really good at that. So this is what I'm doing, you know, and I'm just assessing, making sure that, like, it's not maleficent or negative, you know, because a lot of things happen in the church that are like ritualistic, we can say, you feel what I'm saying? And a lot of people don't know what they are doing in the church. There's a lot that is taking place in the church. For me, I 100% feel like I was led to go to this church, you feel what I'm saying? And so in life, we're here to experience experiences because those experiences can give us resources, materials, which are in of their nature mental and spiritual. And so once we acquire these materials from life, what we then do with these materials is we build our minds and our spirits, you feel what I'm saying? You see, let me explain this also. We exist within the astral plane, you feel what I'm saying? But we also exist within the physical plane. And then a few select also exist in the spiritual plane. Let me explain this. From my awareness and understanding, there are 4 primary realms. The material realm, which is at the bottom, the astral plane, which is above the material realm. There's also the heavens, the stars. When we look at astrology, we're studying the astral plane. And then above the astral plane, we have the spiritual plane and the celestial plane. The spiritual plane and the celestial plane are not connected to the astral plane and the material plane. The material plane and the spiritual plane are not eternal. These are planes that have a time. Their time will one day end. You feel what I'm saying? There is a clock. We can even call it the universal astrological clock. You feel what I'm saying? Because when you're studying astrology, that's what you're doing. You're looking at clocks. You feel what I'm saying? So there will come a time when this physical world will deteriorate and it will no longer exist. And the astral plane, the heavens above, will also deteriorate and will no longer exist. But you see, these higher planes that are disconnected from these lower planes, but associated. I also want to say this. Within the astral plane, there's also levels. There's said to be 7 realms within the astral plane. So there are the lower astral planes, which are the hells, and then the higher astral planes, which are the heavens, right? And so the astral plane, understand it's your mind. Like when you're thinking and you're imagining and you're daydreaming, you're astral projecting, you feel me? and you're active in the astral plane. I am always astral projecting, always, you feel me, astral traveling, you feel me. I'm always programming my subconscious mind and refining my astral environment, because you know, that's how you build. That's how you build. And so those of us who fail to acquire certain experiences will not have the materials needed to build a powerful mind and a powerful spiritual body, which can exist in the spiritual plane. You feel what I'm saying? So the spiritual plane and the celestial plane, these planes are void of hatred, of negativity, of anger, you feel me, of those lower vibrations. And in order for a spirit to get into these higher planes, they must transmute all negativity, you feel what I'm saying? Because within the astral plane, it's like, within the spiritual plane. So the substances within the spiritual plane are different from the substances within the astral plane. Just like the substances within our plane, the material plane, are different from the substances of the astral plane, right? And so things that are composed of astral substance cannot exist within the spiritual plane. We can say it's of a faster velocity, which is a faster speed. So you can think of it this way: if an astral entity was to go into the spiritual plane one way or another, they would automatically be deteriorated, you feel me, because it's a faster vibration. And so the spiritual plane is where angels, like, for you to be within the spiritual plane, you must be angelic. And there are different levels of consciousness, right? With mineral consciousness, then mineral consciousness, animal consciousness, basic consciousness, personal consciousness, and then there's also an angelic consciousness and divine consciousness, you feel me? Yeah, I think that the angelic consciousness and divine consciousness are separate, but they're close, you feel me? And so as we evolve and grow, we tap in and we expand. Our consciousness also expands. Within me was instilled this idea to want to reach angelic consciousness, you feel me? And this was before I cracked the book and read that it even existed. You know, I deal with affirmations, and one of the affirmations I used to work with, this was like 3 years ago, was I have angelic consciousness, you feel me? I had many affirmations, you know, that dealt with the different departments of life. I covered, you know, my spiritual life, my career, my finances, my family life, and I made affirmations for every single department. And so for the spiritual department, it was I have angelic consciousness. I spoke it into existence, you feel what I'm saying? And so then, because I said that and I believed that and I looked forward to that, I am now experiencing the needed processes and protocols to then attain that angelic consciousness. So for those of you who may have missed the message was, as a alchemist, as a spiritual alchemist, the whole cosmos is my laboratory. You feel what I'm saying? And with that being said, I am not led by fear. I am led by love and understanding. And I seek truth and I desire truth. You feel what I'm saying? And 100%, it's never about what you do, but how you do it. Today, you know, I made an immense spiritual deposit. And how I did it, of course, was through my spiritual alchemy. But the dross meaning the makeup which this situation came to me. Because like I said earlier, these precious metals come to us through life experiences. We, out of ignorance, because me, I'm also in this with you guys, you feel what I'm saying? I'm guilty of this as well. We at times miss the value because of the covering around it. Yeah, you guys, so I made this video, and I made it to hope that people understand that there is value in religion, even if you're not religious. Religion is Jupiter, you feel what I'm saying? It provides us the metal tin, and this is alchemical conversation. I can teach you alchemy as well if you want to learn. So message me if, yo, I'm not bullshitting when I say that this insight and information is going to help you tremendously, because it helps you navigate through life, you feel me? And where you're navigating with all of life, not just different parts of life, but you're exposed to life, period. Because the cosmic man, the spiritual alchemist, he is a man who is on a mission, on a purpose. He wants to develop his spiritual body because he understands that he, within him, because the spiritual alchemist is also an astrologer. He understands his energies, and he understands that he was designed to bear certain fruits. He was designed to fulfill a certain purpose. You feel what I'm saying? He understands that the astral plane and the material plane, these are just planes of training. And what other souls take thousands of years to accomplish, the spiritual alchemist condenses said information, said experiences, and goes on to have experiences of higher consciousness faster than those who aren't tapped in as the spiritual alchemist is tapped in. And for me, I am an individual who descended, you feel what I'm saying, in the sense that the reason why I have the knowledge and awareness that I have, you feel me, even though 21 years old, I'm way ahead of my age. But yeah, I descended from the higher planes, meaning that, see, I'm a very isolated, alone individual. I'm also a very focused individual who's focused on his purpose, right? I was given, and when I was 14, I got shot in the chest, right? I died. Let me show the scars real quick, right? I get shot in the chest, I die, but then I'm given a choice to return because I had a purpose this whole time. What I'm doing right now, right here, I am a teacher, right? My son also, let me put this out there, is in the 10th house. The 10th house is the highest elevated house. My son is in the 10th house and it's in the sign Gemini. Gemini is the sign of thought. I, especially as of lately, have been very much identifying with the eagle, right? And eagles are known to be representators of the spiritual plane because they soar and soar and soar up into the sky until they disappear. You feel what I'm saying? They fly higher than any bird. But with my son being in Gemini, my thoughts are elevated. Now birds deal with thoughts. Like I said earlier, my experience in the church wasn't so much Sagittarian as I was illuminated, but it was so Piscean. I was so astral projecting. I was so in my imagination. You know, at one point I remember, I left my body and I merged with this spiraling light, you feel me? And within the spiraling light, it was spiraling upwards, and there were angels, you feel me? And the color of the lights were a light purple, like a violet, you feel me? Because kind of like this color, you feel me? But then there was also a gold and a blue, and so this was these are three colors that are bleeding into each other, but they're spiraling together, and simultaneously there are angels as well, you feel what I'm saying? And so, to be honest, this was what I was focused on. This was what I was cultivating. But at the end of the day, this experience came to me through the dross of a Christian church, for what I'm saying. And I put this information out there to explain that in life you shouldn't be led by fear. You should be led by love and truth, is what I'm saying. And truly, all is love, for all is God, and God is loving. You feel me? The highest love comes from God. So with that being said, you feel what I'm saying? Don't be afraid of life, and allow life to experience you. I don't know how to say it any other way. Allow God and trust God and learn to surrender, you feel me? And we have a tendency, because of our egos, to want to be in control and to reject something because we don't like the way it looks. But a lot of the times, things that we need come to us, and our soul is that which we need to listen to. That is, put our egos aside and listen to our soul. You feel what I'm saying? Because there's certain things our soul needs that our ego rejects. You feel what I'm saying? And today I had such an amazing experience that has changed me. You feel me? And it was an experience that in the past I wouldn't be open to. But I am always growing and evolving, and I've came to a certain state where I understand that life is about experiences, and life is about extracting value from said experiences. So I no longer, am afraid to experience. I experience life, I welcome life, and I understand that God is within all. And so the religions are nothing more or less but conduits, tools, systems, practices that can help an individual improve his relationship with God. These are vehicles, we can even say. Nothing more, nothing less, you know what I'm saying? And so I ride these vehicles to get me from point A to point B spiritually, as I am a spiritualist. I am an alchemist, and I'm also an astrologist. You feel me? And the reason I'm saying this is because only if you knew what I was bringing to the table. So I want you to know. So definitely tap in, message me, reach out. My website is in the description below. And yeah, namaste, peace. Thank you guys for watching. Definitely subscribe if you enjoyed this content and want to see more content like this, as I will be producing more content. Also, like it, and if you guys want to help the channel by sending a donation, my Cash App is always open to receive. Yes, and peace. Thank you. Namaste.